Tomorrow, the Kansas City Chiefs have their first home opener, even though it is preseason, against the Commanders. And I'm going to give you 5 players I'm going to keep my eyes out for, and you should too. But before we do dive into that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video, as I'm going to keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chief related that you do not want to miss out on. And without further ado, let's dive right in. Coming into the game against the Commander, we got a lot of interesting scenarios that could be in place too. A lot of rookies that will experience their first time at Arrowhead, a lot of roster cuts that are about to be on the horizon, and a lot of final spots that can be taken just by this game. Andy Reid did mention that the starters will play the full half. Again, take that for what it's worth, because he did say last week that the starters would play a whole quarter, but they looked amazing in the first drive and was, hey, you're coming out. Now, I do expect them to have an extended period amount of time, because that's just how Andy Reid does run. Like I mentioned in my previous video too, it's different. Now, last year we saw a glimpse of it because last year was our first time having 3 preseason games, but it's different from the 4 preseason games. We know with Coach Reid, when it's that 3rd week, he'll play them sometimes into the 3rd quarter. Now, is this the Kansas City Chiefs' 3rd preseason game where they'll play most of their starters like throughout the game until halftime, and then when we get to week 3, it's like you get 1 series, you're done, or you don't play at all? It's going to be interesting to see these next 2 games, how everything plays out. But I'm going to dive into my top 5 players everyone should keep their eyes out for. And at number 5, I have no other than the hardest hitter on the team, at least he claims, and at least I believe. And that is Leo Chenal. Now, he showed some glimpses in the end of the 4th quarter and even in the 3rd quarter too, where it's like, I need to see more of him. And I'm hoping he gets his chance to shine more on the Kansas City Chiefs defense too. He's fighting for basically that 3rd linebacking spot with Elijah Lee, which honestly, I don't know too much about Lee. I know he's from Kansas State. I know he's basically a hometown kid of the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't see too much of him in week 1's preseason game either. I do think at the end of the day, if it's between a competition between both of them, I think Leo Chenal can edge him out. I do think he needs to show some promises in this game and next game. And I don't know if he'll be a week 1 starter into the regular season, but maybe something like Nick Bolton too, where there will be some packages in for him in the regular season, and then once he shows his worth and he shows how good he is, it's going to be hard to keep him off the field. I think that's the type of situation we'll see with Leo Chenal. But I'm excited to see him in this game, because I do believe he'll get more playing time, and I do believe he'll be laying that hammer down too. He's a very exciting player to see on this defense. And honestly, this future linebacking core is very exciting too. With Willie Gay, who he might be our best linebacker, and that's no slight to Nick Bolton whatsoever, but just the athleticism Willie Gay has, and I think he has the highest potential. And then you have Nick Bolton too, who rookie year proved he can be an all-pro in this league. And then Leo Chenal, who we all hold high standards for. This could be a scary young group going forward. That's why I have my eyes out for Leo Chenal on this Saturday's game. As I mentioned to start this video off, this is the first game in Arrowhead this year. So be it if it's preseason or not. You know it's going to be loud. So you know these rookies are going to be so excited and thrilled to play in front of these fans. And I have a rookie slated at number 4 that I have my eyes on, and that is Trent McDuffie. Now, I didn't see too much of him against the Bears, but in camp he has shown progression every day, as we mentioned. And I'm going to have my eyes like he is on the receiver and basically stuck on him, because I want to see how he does against a different team and how he adjusts to different receivers too. And for example, I don't know what Washington's going to bring out there. But they have a Terry McLaurin, they have a Jahan Dotson, they got a Dewami Brown, they got a good skill set of wide receivers. I want to see how he matches up with them, because he has the potential in the future to be our number 1 cornerback. Again, I'm not sliding anyone on the team, and I'm not sliding L'Jarius Sneed either, but I think with the potential and talent that Trent McDuffie has, I think he legit can be a lockdown corner. Now, I think the same with Sneed. I just view like McDuffie's ceiling higher. Again, you could roast me in the comments all you want, but that's why he was drafted so high. And honestly, he slid too to Kansas City, and everyone thought he would have been drafted higher. The ceiling is so high for Trent McDuffie that I'm excited to see what he brings to this Chiefs defense. And if he can be that lockdown corner all of us are expecting, like I mentioned, we've seen him day in and day out in camp. he's stuck on that receiver's hip and he is making plays. I'm excited to see that in live game action too. That's why I have my eyes on him this weekend. I think this game against the Commanders will basically set this team going into 2022. I think it'll let you know who's going to be on this team moving forward and who's basically going to be cut. With that too, you know I love to focus on the wide receiver room. We all know there's probably only one spot open up for grabs. Josh Gordon, my eyes are on you. He is the one that I'm going to proclaim that's going to take that 6th wide receiver spot. Again, my favorite word in this video. That is no slight to guys like a Fountain or a Powell or even a Coleman if you want to throw him into the mix. I don't know. There's just something. I feel Kansas City is invested in Josh Gordon, and they're hoping for the best out of him just like we are. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets more playing time, because if he doesn't show out, this could be his last game with the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs are going to give him every opportunity to make this team. And that would be a solid 6 wide receivers on the Kansas City Chiefs roster when you basically go down the lineup. Starting with the Juju, and then it's how you rotate it in and out. It could go Juju, McColl, Sky, MVS. You could rotate your 4. That's how I view it. And then Justin Watson. He surprised a lot of people in camp, and a lot of people, we can go backtrack on prior videos too when I thought Justin Watson was going to make this team just based off of special teams. Now he shows he's an asset on this offense. There was a lot of y'all going against me saying there's no way Justin Watson's making this team. Would you look at that? He's wide receiver number 5, and he honestly jumped ahead of Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon has to prove his worth on this team. I do believe he's going to get a lot of snaps. I do believe the ball's going to come to him a lot. He's got to make a play on the football, though. And that's something, even last week, which was unfortunate. He's a vet in this league, and I think I was very disappointed in seeing him not really having sideline awareness like that. He could have had 2 amazing catches where he would have boosted his stock like crazy, but he was out of bounds. And then you have a rookie like Sky Moore, which I don't even know how the hell he did it. He didn't even look at the sideline or anything like that. And he comes from college where they're just used to having 1 foot in bounds, and he dragged his toes perfectly. I'm not saying anything against Josh Gordon, like how come a rookie's doing this and you're not, because I get it. Players perform under different circumstances, and Josh Gordon knows that, hey, he's got to perform either this week or next week to be on this team. That's why everything's on the line for him, and that's why I have my eyes on him. Of course, I'm staying with the rookies because, one, we have a very nice rookie draft class, and they are going to be a huge impact going into this 2022 NFL season. And I'm going to talk about the guy with the highest motor on the team, and he proved it against the Chicago Bears. And I'm excited to see it against the Commanders, and it is George Karlaftis, the Greek freak. His motor is on 10, on 100 every single play, and I'm excited to see him. Hopefully, if not, we will definitely see him more in the field, but I want to see him in that starting rotation too, and I want to see him go at it with Chris Jones and Frank Clark and them just breaking down that line and getting to Carson Wentz, getting to Tyler Heineke, getting to Sam Howell, and just going in. It's fun to see him back there because you see him in the backfield constantly. Even when he's not the first one off the ball, he's in the backfield constantly. And I think he's going to have a promising rookie year going forward and a promising career with the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe he's another one that fell to the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, if you look at it really, I remember back in February, like, I know that's way too early pre-draft, like prospects and all that, but I remember him being slated as a top 10 pick, and then people had questions about can his pass rushing technique actually translate to the NFL. I think he's going to prove a lot of doubters wrong, and I'm just happy he's on our team, and I'm just happy I get to watch him this week, and I definitely got my eyes on him. Now, at number 1, I kind of cheated, but I can't because it's my video, so we're going to have fun with it. And as we all got the updates with McCole Hardman's injury and Juju Smith's injury, I highly anticipate them not playing in this game. So what I'm most excited for in this game is to watch Sky Moore and Justin Watson in the starting lineup and basically go have fun with Patrick Mahomes. I want to see the chemistry. I want to see how they perform in that starting rotation. Now, I don't know if that's exactly what we're going to see, like I mentioned, or if Juju or McCole is out. I would think they are because I don't think Reed would. I think this is a proceed with precaution type of scenario too. I think this gives guys like Moore and Watson and even guys that are fighting for a chance to be on this roster more reps, which is needed too. And I think it's specifically for Sky Moore because we know with the 2nd round pick, with how great he's performed in camp, It's good to get that chemistry down early. We know he's going to be in the starting lineup. We just don't know how soon it is or if it's going to be later in the season. So I think this is going to be a fun game to watch with both Watson and Watson and Moore. And it's crazy to think too, like I mentioned earlier, that Watson was someone who was just a special teams guy, and then he starts showing out on the offense in camp, and now he has the chance to rotate in with the ones in a game. No one would have saw that coming. I barely saw it coming. I just knew he was a toe guy, so he was going to make this team. I just didn't know he was going to make plays on this offense. So it's going to be fun to watch, and I'm excited to see that moving forward. And in this game too, that's my number one thing I have my eyes on is Sky Moore and Justin Watson. But I'm going to wrap this video up. Chiefs Kingdom, you let me know what you're going to have your eyes on in specific against the Commanders. But with that, I'm going to close this video out. But before I do, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Y'all take care. Peace.